Hello children, welcome back to our physics class. I hope you're all doing well and ready to learn something exciting today. Well, in today's lesson, we will explore one of the most fascinating topic in physics, that is light. We will discuss and understand how light behaves and travels when it falls on a surface. Okay? So let us begin our journey into the world of light. Here we go. Now the topic is all regarding light. First of all, let us try to understand the main property of light, that is reflection of light. Whenever a beam of light falls on a surface, let us suppose a surface. Let this be a surface. It is an interface. This is completely air, first medium. This surface, a deeper surface I'll consider, it might be water, air, water, glass or something like this. To make you understand, I'll consider glass. So this portion is glass and this portion is air. Okay, and this is the interface. So we have considered two different medium. This is medium 1 and here it is medium 2. So in order to understand the reflection of light, we have to consider a beam of light. So suppose if a beam of, this is the surface, as I told you, that interface itself is called as surface. Okay. Whenever a beam of light falls on a surface, as shown in the figure, this is the beam of light. This is only a single light ray and many light rays together, we call it as a beam of light rays. Whenever a beam of light strikes a surface, I said it is a surface, then what we observe is a portion of light is returned back to the same medium. This is the same medium and some portion of the light returns back to the same medium after striking the surface, something like this. This light ray falling here again returns back to the same medium. This light ray falling here on the surface returns back to the same medium. Third light ray and fourth light ray as shown. So the portion of light which returns back to the same medium after striking the surface is called as reflected light ray. So these rays are called as your reflected light ray. Is the concept clear, children? Well, and let us try to also understand the types of mediums. Okay, so this light ray, as I said that some portion of the light ray is being returned back. Then what happens to the remaining part? Okay, suppose if the medium or the surface, I'll better say is a surface. Suppose if the surface absorbs all the beam of light striking on it, then that type of surface is called as an opaque substance. What is that called as, children? Opaque. The part of light absorbed by the surface on which the light ray is incident is called as opaque substance. If it completely absorbs the light ray falling on it, that type of surface is called as opaque. But there are some other surfaces which actually absorbs a portion of light falling on them and sends back to the same medium the remaining portion of the light. That means this light ray, some portion is being absorbed and the remaining portion is being reflected back. That type of surfaces which partly absorbs and partly returns back to the same medium. Those type of surfaces are called as your transparent mediums. Completely absorbed, opaque. Portion of which is being absorbed and the remaining is being sent back, they are called as your transparent medium. Okay? Well, so let us try to understand the term reflection clearly. So let us completely focus on the term reflection. What is reflection? As I said just now, I have told you. So these are the light rays. Okay. The return of light, what is it then? This light ray after falling is returned back to the same medium. So the return of light into the same medium after striking the surface. Okay. These lights are called as your reflected light rays. So what are these actually doing? They are returning back after meeting a surface. The return back of the light into the same medium after striking a surface are called as your reflection. Okay. Children, in general we have two types of bodies. One is luminous body and the other is non-luminous bodies. So let us also try to understand the difference between the luminous body and non-luminous bodies. So what is non-luminous bodies? What is luminous body? Luminous bodies are the bodies which can be directly seen. For example, if you see the light, tube light, sun, electric bulb, candle, a fire, everything can be seen directly. Okay. So these types of bodies are called as luminous bodies. The bodies which can be seen directly are called as your luminous bodies. They themselves transmit the light. Okay. What makes the difference between the non-luminous bodies means non-luminous bodies are not directly seen. This board, this pen, the wall, everything are non-luminous bodies. That means we are able to see the board, the wall, the pen, the desk, the table, everything only when the light after falling on that particular surface on those objects are again sent back to the same medium. So these bodies, the wall, the pen, the board, the desk, the table, these are all reflecting re-reflecting the light falling on them, re-reflecting the light falling on them. They themselves are not producing any type of light. They are only reflecting the light falling on them. Okay. So these type of bodies are actually called as non-luminous bodies. Luminous bodies are those bodies which actually produce the light by themselves and are directly seen. Whereas non-luminous bodies do not produce any type of light on their own. They only reflect those type of lights which are falling on them. For example, if you observe some colored portrait on a colored portrait, if you observe that, you are able to observe different colors on them only because in that colored portrait, if you have red color, green color, blue, yellow, pink, many colors combinations are there. Okay. So whenever the light falls, we know that light consists of 7 different colors: Vibgyor, violet, indigo, blue, orange, and the combinations of that. Okay. So whenever a white light, simple light ray falls on them, that light ray itself consists of so many colors, 7 different colors, and in combination some other colors. Okay. So you are able to see the pink color because this one, after absorbing all the other colors, only reflecting back the pink one. You are able to observe green color because this portion, after absorbing all the different colors, it only reflects the green color. The same with the blue, pink and yellow, everything. So, how we are able to see a particular color means that portion, after absorbing all the colors falling on it, only emits that one particular light and we are able to see them. Okay. So, what I hope what is reflection, what are luminous bodies and what are non-luminous bodies, and how the light is falling on them and how it is being reflected back. The concept is clear? Well, if this is clear, let us also try to understand the types of reflection. What is that? Types of reflection. Generally, reflection is categorized into two types. First one is all about regular reflection and second is irregular reflection. So, reflection is of two types. One is regular reflection and the other is irregular reflection. So, before trying to understand this, let us understand one more concept, children. So, this is the surface. Earlier I drew the surface in this direction and now I am plotting it in this horizontal direction. Let us consider this as a surface. On this surface, okay, let us draw a perpendicular line on this. On this surface, what we have considered? A perpendicular line we have considered, 90 degrees. Okay. So, a perpendicular line drawn to the surface itself is called as your normal. What is this called? Normal, generally indicated with the letter N. Okay. That means the normal makes an angle of 90 degrees with the surface. Let us suppose that a light ray is being incident on this. This is a light ray that falls on this particular surface. At this point, the light ray is falling on. Okay. The point at which the light ray meets the surface, this portion is called as incident point, point of incident, and this is called as a incident ray. This portion is called as your incident ray. As I said earlier that this is called as the perpendicular drawn to the surface is called as your normal ray. So, this incident ray after striking the surface, again it is reflected back into the same medium. After striking the surface, reflects back into the same medium, and this ray is called as your reflected ray. So, on the diagram you can see three different lines. First, the surface. The perpendicular drawn to the surface is called as the normal, always makes 90 degrees with the surface. The first line is the incident light, the light that directly falls on the surface, and the last one is the reflected ray. After striking the surface, the light again goes back to the same medium, and that is called as your reflected ray. Okay. Now, let us try to understand what makes the difference between a regular reflection and irregular reflection. The same surface, if you consider, if this surface is highly polished, is well polished, highly polished and is very smooth, just like a mirror. The surface of the mirror, if you see, it's highly polished and smooth surface like mirror. Those types of surfaces are called as your smooth surfaces. Okay, and the light falling on that smooth, highly polished surfaces, then also the light is being reflected. Okay, in that case, that reflected rays are called as regular reflections. Okay, the light ray after striking a very highly polished and smooth surfaces, that reflected light, okay, are called as your regular reflection, and the shape of the regular reflection will be something like this. Let this be the surface, and the regular reflection will take a form of exact parallel lines. Okay, so all the lines are parallel to it themselves. This type of reflection, when the light beam falls on a highly polished and smooth surface, highly polished and smooth surface like a mirror, is called as your regular reflection. But if you take the surface is not that much polished, okay, so lightly polished, and they are not rough, they are not smooth, they are rough, okay. So that type of surface, if you observe with the help of a microscope and all, you can observe some sort of zigzag pattern like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, this is a very smooth surface, but whereas this is not a smooth surface, little rough surface, little rough surface. Okay, and which is lightly polished. Okay, it's not smooth nor highly polished. So this is also a surface. Like example for this is like wall, the screen, movie screen and all, wall, wood, piece of paper or cardboard. If you observe these type of surfaces, then the light beam falling on them after falling on the surface is reflected back in some uneven format. One light ray is traveling this direction, the other direction, one more direction. So multiple directions the reflection is taking place. Okay, this type of reflection is generally called as your irregular reflection. Okay. Whenever a light ray is falling on a smooth and highly polished surfaces like mirror, the reflection caused, they are called as a regular reflection. For the example for this is a plane mirror. The example for this is your plane mirror. Okay. So whereas whenever the surfaces are not in regular shape, okay, so whenever the light ray falls on an irregular surfaces, simply irregular surfaces, then the light is scattered in all types of directions. The light is scattered, moves in all possible directions. So this type of reflection of light is called as your irregular reflections. Example for this is wall, screen, movie screen, wood, piece of paper or cardboard, cloth, etc. Got it, children? Well,